YouTube, and the YouTube is the live one. Alright, let's go live on this guy. Hopefully the internet holds out. Hey guys, whole comment was typical. I'm sure there's an argument happening. There's some argument in our comment section that we don't know about.
Usually.
Alright, baby. Are you gonna get somebody who
Frank's here. Everybody stop, Frank's here.
Don't stop. Don't stop, get started. Alright. What's up to our warriors? We're live on Monday, not on Wednesday, which is our normal day that we're live. So the reason we're doing that today is to support some people because you're going to be out of town.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do the thing.
I'll be traveling this week, so Monday it is.
Alright, so we live. My name's Rick. This is my Andrea. When you watch the Hey Babe videos, this is who is asking the questions. So today we are going to do a live session just to support some people, be there for our guys and gals, answer some Hey Babe questions. So if you are having a hard time hearing us, the microphones and everything is for our YouTube right now. So like and subscribe, all the buttons, do the things. And then otherwise, ask us questions here and jump in now, and we'll be able to support you guys right this moment.
Yeah,
so,
in real time.
In the real time.
Yeah. If you have any questions for anything that you've seen on our live videos, feel free to ask questions. I know a lot of time, majority questions that come up are relationship questions.
Which ends up being the same answer every time. Work on you.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I make them do what I want them to do?
You don't.
You don't. You work on you and generally how to handle your things, or even make sure you guys are growing together or asking questions or listening to understand. Most of it's just not listening.
Yeah,
it's ironic.
That's very true.
What's up, Mark?
Very, very
Thank
true.
you. Appreciate you. So, in which case, there's a lot of stuff we get into. I've been talking a lot about a lot of different things for belief systems, getting into a lot of things. Working on the next book that's coming up. This will be this year because we're already in the editing phase of it. It's going to be the map out of hell, which gets people to see how to do the correlation between your coping and control mechanisms, your grieving systems, and the things that are going on in the enemies within, which is doubt and fear, excuses and distractions. And I'm putting together the how-tos and the correlation to defeat and beat them. And this can be done through training. And I've been doing this for a long time, and there's a lot of people who no longer suffer from anxiety. We've pulled them out of depression. They're no longer stuck in addiction. We have pulled people out of hell over and over again, and they are doing very well. Many of them are no longer taking medication, and they are now free from being numb in the things they've had to do to get through very difficult things. So that's coming out this year, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that. We've had some very good podcast episodes on the battlefield of the mind, and you guys can check out that and some of the great guests that have been on there, including Mr. Gratitude. He was recently on the show, and so some very cool people have been on our episode. So check it out, do the things, ask questions, do the stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so Miska has a question. So Miska says, how do you deal with someone's girlfriend who is hitting on your husband, especially during your wed?
I'm assuming wed is not Wednesday. Maybe
right.
wedding.
Maybe wedding, Miska. That's what I'm assuming.
I think we have very different points of view on this
wedding,
one.
Yeah.
We have a different point of view. You can go first, because I know yours is probably going to be a little harsher than mine.
How do you deal with someone's girlfriend who is hitting on your husband, especially during your wedding?
Okay, so our wedding,
yeah,
and some guy's girlfriend's hitting on me.
Some guy's girlfriend. I think on your it would be hard because I think that initially my first thought was I would say something. At my wedding, I probably would just let it go, honestly. Like, I'm not going to have some other woman. I would trust him to handle it. And if he was, like, getting sucked in, I would be like, what the hell? Like, I probably would pull him to the side and be like, that's not, like, what the hell is happening? Now, I do have to trust that he's handling it. If it was outside of my wedding and there was a girl that was constantly, like, on him, I still would have to trust that he's going to handle it, but I would say something to her. I would.
You would.
That's my personality. I would. I'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But that's just me.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep it in. I couldn't. I would have to say something like, you know that I see you, right? Like, that's not cool. And I would distance from myself from someone like that too. I don't want someone like that. First of all, if she's at my wedding, will probably be a close friend. Who is that person? Like, what is going on? So.
Yeah, that's a funny answer. I'll tell her. I'll let
His friend's
her know.
girlfriend, not so much.
Yeah.
I would talk to your husband, but like, it's your job to like have the strong boundaries. If he was just letting it happen and not like speaking up and saying something, I probably would have a problem with it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with one part. I don't know if it would really be, unless the guy got handsy with you. I don't think I would. I'd be like, handle it. I'd be like, you got it. Here's my opinion on those things. And Todd, just to the answer, fucking love Alan Watts. I've been listening to a lot of Earl Nightingale lately too, so love Alan Watts though. Yes.
Hi, Danny.
As far as if somebody were hitting on her on my wedding day, I mean, she's probably smashing that day anyway. She's looking killer, so I can't blame anybody for hitting on her. I don't have any insecurities in that area at all. I think she's beautiful. I think it's if guys don't take their shot and try to hit on her, I'd be like, what's wrong with her? Is she not pretty or something? Like, you should try. The only time there's ever an issue if she's like, I think I'm gonna leave you for that guy.
Yeah.
All right, but even still, if she were to want to leave me for another guy, what would I be trying to save in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know, so I'd have to trust her completely. I'd be like, handle that stuff. Unless that guy grabs you by the arm or starts getting aggressive,
Yeah.
you got this.
But I also, he knows me so well that I think for those of you guys that have been the lives too, my values and my morals are so strong. I also do not have the tolerance. If a man was hitting on me, knowing it was my wedding day and being like out of line, I would shut it down and then immediately would tell him. That's just who I am. I have no tolerance for that, and I think that it also comes out for other people, even if it's other women hitting on him. I'm like, it just shows your character. Like, as a woman, I'm like over the top when it comes to women. First of all, I can tell you this: if you're married, I will never reach out to your husband ever, unless it's both of you on a text or it's going through you to talk to him. I'll give you a perfect example. Our daughter was in a bad car accident. This woman had reached out to me, said that her boyfriend was there at the scene of the accident and helped my daughter. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Can you please tell him thank you? I would also like to thank him directly too. Are you okay? Can I call you when you're with him and talk to you both? And she's like, no problem. Like, you can just call him directly. That's how I handle things. I believe that's the correct way to do things. And I have a lot of respect for women that handle things that way. If I want to get a hold of a married man, I'm not calling him directly. I'm just not. I will go through the wife, and then go through the wife, whether they're together, and then talk to him. I have no reason to be talking to a married man. I just don't. So anyway, what? Well,
if you watch on the screen, you're not. I don't know if they can see, but your
Oh.
head's like completely off the screen. So I was trying to get.
That's
you
just
in.
my opinion. I do go very heavy in the one side when the morals and values, and maybe it's just because I've been treated a certain way in the past, and I don't have any tolerance for it. And I do believe that I know what type of respect that I have for other people's relationships, and I will always respect it. Like, there is no reason for me to reach out to a man in general at all, especially if he's not like, there's no reason for it. So that's where I stand.
That's where she stands. Yeah. Unless it was a physical threat, I would just trust her. I would trust that she's got it. I'd be like, just handle that, babe. If he's supposed to hit on you. You're beautiful. It makes sense. I don't have to get overly protective and defensive. What am I going to do? Beat up every guy who thinks, like, she's beautiful? That's crazy. So, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What if gay best friends? Maybe a little. You mean like if I'd have to understand the context. Halo, ask it different. Thanks for the share. What do you mean by that, so I know? And then you see Jenna on YouTube. She says, I would make that woman feel so embarrassed of her behavior. She would be waking up sweating weeks later thinking about it. Jenna's a type A.
Jenna's an 8 for sure.
Challenger
For sure.
personality type.
She's like, I'll let her know where she stands.
I would set her
But
on fire.
there is a point, like, people will push and they will take things as long as they can, like as far as you're willing. And I think women have to be able to check women too. Men do it to men constantly. Women also, it's okay to check other women too. Like we check our kids, he checks me sometimes. It's okay to check women and let them know what you will tolerate and will you not tolerate. That's okay too.
Yeah, I think there we lost an element of people checking people, but it makes sense. Boundaries. So
Yeah.
on this one, unless the guy got he had aggressive on you, I would just trust that you have it handled. If there's something where he got handsy, then I would be involved.
Yeah.
But that's about it. But I don't understand the Halo 7809. What if gay best friends? I don't know the question. Like, is it like, what if their friend was gay? I don't know what that means. So I don't know.
Walker, someone was just asking what would happen if on your wedding day a woman was hitting on him. And so we were just talking through that, like how we would handle it. And Rick was just saying that he would let me handle it and take care of it. I was like, I will definitely take care of it, but I will also probably let her know too. Like,
I wouldn't care. You're supposed to hit on her. She's beautiful. It makes sense to me.
I don't, no, no, I don't, I think they're, not on your wedding. You were here for a reason. Usually there's alcohol involved, so I think that's probably part of it too.
Yeah,
so that's something to consideration. But if someone was coming around all the time, was like constantly hitting on you and flirting with you, I wouldn't consider that my friend. Friends don't do that to each other.
Yeah.
So.
Good one. This is a very difficult question. I think people would think this was easy, but it's not easy. A newer partner asked me to list my needs in a relationship. Seems like it should be easy, like need to feel heard, need to belong, need to be loved or appreciated, need to be respected. It seems like it should be easy, but it's actually a really difficult question. And so for this one, like ask me my needs list, it's hard. I've gone through training on this, everything from Maslow's, Max Neef, Tony Robbins, you get into Stephen Covey. I've got my own program on list on needs. Marshall Rosenberg. There's a lot of different things that gets into like who's got this right for how to figure out my unmet needs. It's actually really difficult to do. And so I was trying to build a better tool because I think Maslow's pyramid is incorrect. Max Neef, it's too complicated and people have a hard time using his chart scale. It's hard to answer. You have to really do some deep work to understand yourself. And getting into just the explanations of what the categories are, it seems like there's correlations to some things, but there's also like self needs, easy. I need air, I need water, I need shelter, I need love, I need physical intimacy, like those are the easy ones. But what are the needs in the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
It takes some deep work. And to give you guys an example, whenever I do values training with people to find out their top 2 values, I haven't had a person yet, when you really challenge the way they operate, get their top 2 values correct, which has become kind of an ongoing joke. I've done this with authors, I've done this with coaches, I've done this with business owners, I've done it with so many people. No one's gotten it right yet. That's how well we know ourselves. So it's fair for them to say, what are your needs in the relationship? But I would probably say, here's the ones that I know of. But leave that open to be able to say, once we get into situations, it may reveal a need that I didn't know I needed. And so I reserve the ability to add or talk about new pieces on the list because it's really difficult.
Do you, when you ask that question to your guys about needs, is it something they do, like, because I think there's a difference between saying, this is something that I need in the relationship versus, from my, like, this is something that I personally need. Or do you find that sometimes they're like, nope, I need this from you. So it's like an external need that they're requiring from somebody else.
Are you asking if men do this?
Yeah.
It's really not as common for the men. The women have more expectations that the men need to do something than the women. The biggest miss for needs for men fall under appreciation and intimacy is like the biggest misses. Like they usually feel not appreciated, and the intimacy is generally removed, and there's a lot of issues there where it comes up where the thing that's funny when it comes to love languages for men is a lot of times men's main ones will be the acts of service, quality time, even gift giving for the way they show love. But for the men, the way they receive love, the two most common is generally words of affirmation and touch. And that's the most common way that guys like to receive. Not saying always, but the most common. And I'd say like a very high percentage of men, their receive love would come in words of affirmation and touch. And so when they say, what are the needs I have from you? It's like, well, I think that women forget that one of the core things for us guys is that we want to impress our girl. Like, ever since we were little kids, look what I can do, like the Stewart thing. Like, look what I can do. I can jump off this. I can build this. I can fix that. I can lift this up. I can do a thing. I can get the touchdown. I can win the competition. We want to impress our girl. And that's part of one of the things guys are. We want to impress you. I want you impressed with me.
Yeah.
And if we do things that are cool, like I fixed that, or I built that, or I made that better, or look, this works now, we want our girl to go, hell yeah, that's my baby. You're awesome. You rock. I want to jump your bones. Like, I want you. You're so strong. You're so helpful. You're so smart. We want our girl to be impressed by us. And something happens in the relationship where the things that are to receive that start to get like lower. The higher the commitment given, the lower the appreciation is generally given for it. And that's a really interesting thing where I want safety, security. I want to be honored and loved. I want to be all of these things, but the more the guy gives, it seems like women have been giving less. And that's probably the biggest correlation that I've noticed to that for unmet needs. Is the guys are like, I just need to feel respected, honored, loved, appreciated, but that's usually verbal and or physical is the way that guys would prefer to receive it. Not all, but most common. What's up, Neil? Good to see you, man.
So
There's good questions too.
Yeah, so let's go back to Scorpion. He said, what about spouse rolling their eyes every time you want to get their attention?
The nonverbals are very loud. Especially ladies, like I've even had women who do feminine training and stuff, like feminine energy stuff, and they're like, I think that ladies forget how loud their nonverbals are. They're very, very big, and to us guys, they matter. So nonverbals, eye rolls is, I'll give you an example. Women rank much higher in their ability to be sensitive to negative energy. They can sense negative energy, especially threats. Women worry a lot more, and so they pay a lot more attention. And they are aware of what those things are. But I think if you have a partner who says, hey, can I get a little bit of attention, or can I get some appreciation from you? And you respond with an eye roll, it's the same as just a middle finger to your partner. And to think that it would be anything that would be appropriate, I think if you were giving advice to somebody, like, hey, how would you like to be treated if you were saying, hey, sweetheart, can I get some attention and some time with you? You're my person and I love you. And that person's like, ugh. Well, how does that feel? You know, and I think it just starts off with the very basic thing where it's like, the golden rule is not universal, but it's a really good baseline. And would you like it if someone said, I would love to have some time with you. I love you and I want some of your attention. And they go, gah, here we go again. How does that feel?
It doesn't feel good. And also, like we talked about last week, this is your person. This is your partner. Okay, and if anyone's treating their partner like their worst enemy or treating them this way, in such a rude way, like, this is supposed to be the person that you married, that you're in love with, and this is how you're showing how you love, it's pretty eye-opening when you look at it that way. Like, we're together, we're a team, and this is how I'm treating my teammate. It's not, I can't imagine, I would not, we've had our arguments, of course, but
Your nonverbals have gotten me a couple times. Your nonverbals have gotten me.
But I also, too, like, there are certain things where, whether you're saying it or whether you're not, it does matter, you know? And so it's important to be aware of those things. And yes, people are going to get frustrated, of course. But if it's a constant thing where your person is saying things to you that are not kind, making threats, or these nonverbals, especially when you're doing them a favor, it's pretty eye-opening.
Yeah. There's a thing there that's happening. I don't know where the disconnect is, Scorpion, but he said when I get attention from others, when they're nice to me, oh boy. Like, there's a control thing here, but there's also a disconnect for enthusiasm towards showing love and appreciation between you two. I don't know where the disconnect is, but there's something missing. I bet talking to you guys, even in one session, I could figure out where you guys are missing each other. There's something that she's not getting or needs, or something that happened to goof up the relationship, and now she's got a disconnect, and I don't know what it is, but there's something there where she doesn't want to show you appreciation or attention, but she hates when you get it from others. There's a control issue there. I don't know what inspires it. So, if you want to talk, I'll check it out with you guys. It'd be a good conversation. You guys can book a call for free. There's a few really good things. Wesley the Golden, good question. I see Ronan Harlequin, good question. And I think, let's see, there's another one in here from Lieutenant Dan. That's actually a really big deal. Let's get into, there's some good ones. I just saw that.
Yeah.
One thing that's a good question to ask, what's my opinion of Richard Cooper and his book on Unplugged Alpha? That's the Red Pill Community. I think that these guys, they're not completely wrong, but I don't fully subscribe. There are facts that they have, but then they throw opinions in that I don't agree with. There are things that are there, and they're very good at identifying patterns and things that do happen. They just speak in more absolutes, and there's things that I don't agree with. That's the best way it can be done. But their stuff isn't completely without merit, though. And so it's a tricky thing. You have to use some discernment when you're reading through anybody's information, because there are things that, like, that's true, that is useful, but then there's an opinion usually where, I'll tell you the most common pattern I see when I read these books. Good at identifying the problem. Good at pointing out that this is the most common things that are happening, correct. And then my opinion of what you should do, I rarely agree with. Like, that's what these books are. Here's what people are doing. Here's what men are doing. Here's what I think you should do. And I'm like, oh, you are off on that part. The first part's correct. That's off the rails. That's part of where it is. I'd love to meet and talk with Richard Cooper. Maybe someday I will. I don't think that they're off the reservation completely. I think there's a lot of truth to what they say, but I don't fully subscribe to red pill mentality. So I'm not all the way into a MGTOW dynamic or anything. I love her very much, and so I don't go with all women, but I think there's definitely some. We've had modern women conversations where some of today's stuff, the patterns that they are identifying are correct, and some of the denials or delusions that are out there around benefits versus baggage are also correct. People, one thing I've noticed is a lot of people gaslight their introspection, and they won't be honest with themselves, and that's the most common battle that I see these guys are correct about. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, you want to go into, Ronan stuff.
Yeah.
He's struggling with his wife who filed divorce because I didn't do housework enough. I guarantee you it wasn't housework, man. Guarantee you. There's no way that she needed you to do chores. That's what you got married for chores? Like, that's not what marriage is. There's something way different there. She just used chores as the excuse to justify whatever she's really doing, but it's not chores. I guarantee you. There's some underlying massive issue. That was just her scapegoat or her platform to get rid of you for some reason. But again, I don't have enough information between you two to be accurate. But there's no way that you weren't a good enough manservant, so you're gone. What an abusive dynamic just to start with. So that probably isn't really it. Probably not very helpful. Lieutenant Dan, this is something that comes up with the men often. He said, I had a 10K bump in salary and major commission reconstruction, and all I got was, maybe they felt bad for you.
What?
Baby,
What?
I just got a 10K bump. I got a 10K raise. Major construction in this. They worked it out because they goofed up or they fixed it for me, but I got $10,000 on my salary as a bump after they fixed it up. And you said, well, maybe they just felt bad for you.
Let me tell you something, Lieutenant Dan. If I was a man, okay, and this happened to me, I'd be like, you're absolutely right, and I'm not giving you one freaking penny. Like, you're not getting any of it. Like, that is so rude. What is wrong with people? Again, in a relationship, I love you, but I'm going to treat you like shit. It is nonsense. So, we're proud of you.
Yeah, well done.
Why don't we start with that?
Congratulations,
yes.
brother. Way to go, man. Congrats.
I'm sure you are her. That
Congrats
sucks.
on you hit 6 figures. You put yourself into the 1% category globally.
Probably.
You're a big deal, dude.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Super proud of you. Way to go. And you got new legs. Way to go, Lieutenant Dan. Super proud of you.
And I'm sure it comes with a lot of sacrifices too.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Badass,
I'm sorry.
dude.
That really sucks.
Yeah, badass.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity too for ladies. Like when that lady just said, "Hey, can you give me your list of needs in a relationship?" This is a really good opportunity, ladies, to be able to step up and go, "I appreciate and honor my man.
Yeah.
He had a great achievement. He worked really hard for it. He's put himself into a 1%er lifestyle with working his ass off and doing something that's probably not easy to do, to be able to get 6 figures. And the best you can get is like maybe they just felt sorry for you. And you're like, let's start over. Let's try it again. What you meant to say was, awesome job, babe. Super proud of you. That's so great. Let's celebrate you. I can't believe you pulled that off. That's amazing. So, pretty big opportunity there that's missed. So, pretty tough. I think one of the kids are messing with the AirPods.
Oh, probably. They'd be like, "Are these mine?" Yeah. Yeah. But that sucks.
Yeah, so we see you, man. The guys I've noticed in the group are able to do some pretty amazing things, and they cheer each other on. They cheer each other on.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and text the girls to stop doing that? One of them is just opening and closing the AirPod case that's not theirs.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, babe.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. The nonverbals we went through, scorpion stuff, we got you. That's what she told me. Ronan, there's no way, dude. There's no way. What's up, Rachel? There's no way that she divorced you over chores. That was just the scapegoat. There was something else there. American Norseman, that's just a cool name. What would you suggest is a good way to bring up my feelings to my wife without having to apologize? That's a very good question. Good question. I don't believe you have to apologize to have feelings. Starting there, and like being able to be with a willing partner and share something like, this is important to me and I want to share with you. We did a video about stating intention. You do not have to apologize to state your intention. If I said, sweetheart, there's something important to me and you're important to me, and I want to share something with you, so my request is to please listen while I share something important. Can you do that with me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I want to share something that I feel like bothers me or hurts my feeling. It makes me feel frustrated, or it makes me feel alone, or it makes me feel scared, or it makes me feel hurt, or it makes me feel angry. Like a feeling may be involved. There are some tools you can use for this. Guys are not good at feelings. So let me pull tools out. Let me get on this microphone. Jeez. So live it hurts. So there's tools and stuff like feelings wheels and stuff like this where you can go through and go, all right, I'm feeling sad, but what type of sad? I'm feeling kind of grief or sorrowful, or I feel heartbroken, or I feel discouraged by or disappointed. And then being able to go, this is why, and it's not trying to hurt your feelings or be mean, it's trying to be open and share that with you. And this is where you can kind of test the health of the relationship and what's going on with you guys. Is she willing to listen, to understand, or is she simply going to wait to control the conversation? And so that's something there. It's like, well, you're also seeing the way that you can communicate. Ladies, opportunity is here for you. You ladies love men to be a safe place for you. I want him to be a safe place for me. I want to be able to feel protected, but I also want to be able to share and vent, and I want to share my feelings, and I want to do all those things from him. I want him to be able to do that, right? What does it mean for a woman to be safe for a man? Can he share something important, vulnerable, and valuable to him, Can he share that with you without you being controlling, reactive,
Defensive.
angry, defensive, starting to shame, blame, or judge? Can you listen to truth without having to be angry about it? Can you take on information you may not enjoy, but have a conversation or listen to understand without trying to condemn? Can you be safe for your man to go, I can talk to my girl and we grow together instead of I control in some way, shape, or form? Now, you ladies, catch your J. How many of you can't help but be judgmental if your guy shares something with you? How many of you just can't fucking help it? You have to judge. I have to judge you. I have to judge you. You're weak. You're pathetic. You're I can't be safe around you because you're crying too much, or you're whatever too much, or I can't deal with your stuff too. And they make it about them. Are you able to hear your human partner? They're human. Us guys have huge hearts. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're naturally givers. Men naturally give. What are the main things that guys want to do? Provide, protect. Those are giver jobs. We give, give, give. Now, there's a difference between boys and men, and there's a difference between girls and women. There's a difference. Boys and girls are takers. Naturally, we start off as kids and teenagers, and we take, take, take. What can I get? I want that. Give it to me. Take, 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 take. Now, there's a big difference from a girl to a woman. Women give. Women support. Women make sure people are taken care of. Women make sure, hey, brought the snack bag. Hey, I made sure we got all the utilities we need. Yeah. Hey, I made sure this is accounted for. Hey, I brought the strategy thing. I've got that taken care of. Men give. Boys, conquest. Take. Try and get theirs. Try and hook up with chicks. Try and get that money. Boys take. Men build. Men support. Men provide. Men protect. Men show up. Men encourage. Yeah. Men can keep people safe. Men do things very different. Men give. Yeah. We serve. How can I help you do better? Men don't see another guy down and go, dude, you're being a bitch. Yeah. Men go, bro, I'm here. Let me pull you up. I got you. Yeah. Men give. And so if you got a good guy, who wants to share something with you, be that person who can also have that reciprocity. You want him to be safe for you. You be a good woman and be safe for him. Yeah. Listen to your guy. You don't have to agree. Mm-hmm. I think it's very important for people. It's fine to be disagreeable. Right. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean someone has to be right or wrong. It's okay to say, I hear you. I don't agree, but I do understand. And I talk to my guys. We have forfeited the concept of you ladies truly giving empathy, and we figured out why. The path to empathy that we work on with our women in the warrior side starts with accountability, goes into their own authenticity, and without those two things, there's no way to give a man empathy, and it doesn't happen. So when I ask my guys, I'm like, would you at least accept understanding? Like, you won't get empathy. She's not going to go, your heart and your feelings are very important. She may do well-being, like, well, I took care of the towels, and I made some lunch today, and I moved your shoes to the door. That's taking care of things. That's well-being. But how's your heart, babe? How's your feelings? How are you holding up in here? How's the love of my life doing? How is our relationship doing? You know, being able to have those conversations and be safe and empathetic for your guy doesn't seem as likely for men. But us men would be like, I'm okay if she at least understands without adding, without making shit up, without creating my intention, without making it about her. I'm very okay if she just at least understands, even without agreement. And that's a big thing. It's an opportunity for you ladies to go, oh, damn. If that's what they're saying, ask your guy. Does he really truly feel understood by you? Mm-hmm. Do you listen to understand, or do you wait to talk?
Yeah. People, I think, that's so good. I think that in relationships, I think most people would say, you know, I want that genuine connection. I really want my person to understand me. Like, there's so many wants, but no one really wants, I shouldn't say no one, majority of people are not willing to do the work and to build that connection, to really understand your partner without those judgments like you were saying. And so if you're saying, okay, I wish I would have this, or I see something on social media, I wish I had that relationship, then you got to put in the work. Then you also have to try and have the willingness to work with your partner so you guys can become a stronger team. So many times when we're on these lives, it's like these opponents, like Lieutenant Dan was saying, couples are working as opponents with each other. They're not working as a teammate, and I think that there's so much room for growth in that. Like we say, I want this and I want this, or I wish I could have this. Well, you can, but you also have to work for it too. Yeah. And not everything's going to be given to you. So, yeah.
You don't force love. You fall in love. You let go. You don't control the other person. Now let's get to the other part, American Norsemen. How do I do it without apologizing? How do I do it without saying sorry? You don't have to say sorry. No. Sorry is part of a shame system. Say you're sorry. No. Say you're sorry like you mean it. What the hell does that mean? What does that even mean? What's up, Joe Harmon?
Hi, Joe.
What does that mean? Say you're sorry like you mean it. You mean say you're sorry the way I want you to say sorry? Now go to your room and think about what you did. Like, it's just designed to make you feel bad. If the point is to teach a lesson, does shaming somebody or punishing somebody really need to be there for you to learn something? If it was so good to punish and to shame somebody, why is it as adults we don't just do that to everybody? Why is it as adults the only people we want to punish is when we think we're the authority over to say, you better say sorry?
It sounds like parent relationship, like you're parenting your partner. That's what it sounds like, because you hear those things when people talk about their kids, like there's going to be a punishment, or if you do this, there's going to be a consequence. You are not the mother or the father of your significant other. That's not how this works.
You're not their accountability parole officer to go and punish them because I need to alter their behavior to what I want them to be.
Because I have an opinion of how it should be.
Like you fucking know. Like you know how life is supposed to go. How
are you leading the way? And you're really showing us. Yeah, no.
You should be in charge because you hate things. That's not a prerequisite for leadership. And so it's really interesting that we become an authority to try to tell others how to be based on a feeling I have in the moment. And it's wild. That's wild. Listen to understand, you don't have to apologize to have a good intention. You don't have to say sorry. In fact, any of you who wore out your sorries, it's a wasted word at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. At that point, it's just used to just shut it down. Can you please just stop?
It's almost dismissive, like on to the next.
It just means like I don't have to grow. I don't have to work. I don't have to evolve. I don't have to do anything to improve because I said sorry. Hey, babe, hit that thing out of your hand. You big. I don't like that. I'm like, sorry.
No, it's almost like it turns into white noise. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I heard it. It's like,
It loses potency.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something for you guys to be able to take in. We don't apologize often. I'm not saying never. Sometimes I'm like, babe, I really, truly apologize. I didn't mean to do that. Something like that. But it's one of those things where being able to go like, oh, dang, like, that hurt you? And she'd be like, yeah, it bothered me. I really didn't like that. I'd be like, okay. I definitely didn't intend to do harm like that. That was not my intention. But if something like this is doing that to you and I don't want to hurt you, what I would do then is I'm okay with, for myself, also doing it this way because that doesn't screw me up, but it wasn't intended to do harm to you. So from now on, I'll do it this way. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Where I don't have to go, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's just something that I needed to learn and grow about her or about myself, some way that I can grow from it. And from growing from that, we can make new agreements that work for our dynamic without having to feel shame about it.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel shame, and I don't require her to, like, say sorry. No, say you're sorry like you mean it. Like, that doesn't work.
No, and no. And it's not a requirement at all.
And we're doing very well without shaming each other. It works pretty good without knocking your partner down. I don't have to make her feel bad. Like, what am I trying? What is the goal? What are you doing, man?
We're in love. We're not enemies. Like, it is wild to me. It really is wild. And the more and more that things keep coming up, people keep asking questions, it really is blowing my mind how people are in love and they're in relationships and they're treating each other like shit.
I would argue the statement. They may say they love someone, not that they are in love.
Yeah.
Because people who are in love don't try to destroy the person they're in love with.
Yeah. You're burning your own house down.
I'll preach on it. If you are truly surrendered, full open heart, my heart is yours.
Yeah.
I love you. Bottom of my heart, I am in love with you.
Yeah.
There is no part of me that has intent to destroy you, control you, hurt you, harm you, suppress you, like make you say you're sorry, shame you, judge. I don't need to destroy you.
Yeah.
If I'm in love with you. That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Why would I destroy you if I love you?
Right.
But a lot of people will say, because I love you gives me the means to destroy you.
It gives you the power over.
I'm going to control you.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt you. And so it's one of those things where it's like, why would we need to hurt somebody when I love somebody?
Yeah.
And this is where, if the reality on this one to check ourselves, is if that's how you treat somebody, that's how you love. I destroy people, that's how I love. I shame people, I nag people, I criticize people, I put them down, I let them know how they're not good enough, I complain, I don't appreciate, I don't show love languages the way they need it, I'm not connected to any of their stuff, I show no empathy, I show no compassion, I don't like to give attention, I roll my eyes if they want love from me. That's how you love. That's how you love people. That's an awareness thing. It's not judgment, it's not criticism. It's simply just understanding thyself. That's how you love. Well, they should just, as soon as you start a sentence like that, this is how you love. Remember, for my ladies, accountability, authenticity, empathy starts with accountability. And whenever I've had any experts, relationship experts on the show, the women who are doing the best and having the most healthy relationships said, as soon as I took radical accountability for my own actions and my own choices and my own words, my relationship was healed immediately. Started going the better direction, because you think you're going to fix your partner by making them do what you think and you have no work to be done.
Yep.
That's how you know it's you in the relationship. You're the problem. Now, is it a good thing or bad thing if you're the problem in the relationship? Is it a good thing or bad thing if it's you? You're the damn problem. Well, I don't want to be the problem. I want you to be the problem.
Right.
I can't be bad. You have to be bad. Actually, it's awesome. You're the problem.
Yeah.
Why is it awesome if you're the problem, babe?
So you can do something about it.
I can start right now. If I'm the problem, I can immediately start choosing to go, well, if that's me, I can start doing better choices now. We can make new agreements. I can grow. I can work on that today. If she's the problem, how do I control her growth?
Right.
You don't. You try and send her TikTok videos, and I try to send her quotes, and I try to send her books, and she should listen to this audiobook, and she should do this assignment, and she should, or he should, and he should. It's you. There's something you're not doing that's making this relationship also struggle.
Yeah.
And we try and do a victim mentality thing. Well, he did a thing or she did a thing. It's like there was probably something very screwed up happening before that result. Well, I didn't do anything. Well, that's probably where the problem was. There's stuff you probably could have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there with the words?
Yeah, I did.
So this is one of those things where you have to be accountable to yourself. And this is where people get really goofed up, is if you can't go, that's my part.
Yeah.
I do a thing, that's me who does that. If you can't do that part and you're so busy pointing the finger, odds are it's you. And that's good, because you can start working on that right away. Yeah. You can work on that right now. It's really a lava, you're adorable. She says, so women are the problem? Then we are the leaders? You guys you can't be the leaders.
Are we the leaders? Yeah.
Here's the reason why. Accountability is a leadership role. I think people confuse power and leadership. Because I have a name tag and tell you what to do,
Yeah.
I think you misunderstand complaining, nagging, bitching. That's not leadership. Leaders inspire people to want to do something.
They're encouraging. They will sacrifice themselves a lot of times to help other people as well. Yeah.
Leaders make people want to get better. Leaders inspire people. Leaders make people feel safe and secure. Leaders make people go, wherever you're going, I want to go.
Yeah.
That's a leader. People who go, because I'm in charge, I must be a leader. Because I nag and complain, because I tell everybody what to do, because I don't like stuff, because I'm the one who tells everybody who's good and bad, that makes me a leader. It's the opposite. Nobody wants to follow the complainer.
Yeah.
People follow leadership, not name tags.
Yep.
People want power, but the leaders have to take maximum responsibility. Leadership is not a glorious role. Leadership's a mess. Leadership is if everything goes wrong, you don't get the luxury of blaming everybody else.
Yep.
Leaders don't blame everybody else. And so if you're a blame thrower, don't call yourself the leader. If you go, well, it would have worked if you would have just did this, that's not leadership. You're not a leader. If you don't start with maximum accountability, you're not a leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Nobody follows people who blame everybody else for problems.
Yeah.
Leaders go, damn, that's on me, guys. We learned a lot. Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Or I'll take a suggestion. Good idea. Who's ready? Who's with me? Let's do this. They're like, hell yeah, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
Taking accountability makes people trust. Taking accountability makes people get closer. Taking accountability makes it so people can go like, I know that you're ride or die. Taking accountability changes the game.
Yeah.
But if you can't do accountability, you're not a leader.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, you're not the leader. And most commonly, not all, today's society, women gaslight their own introspection, and accountability would be a flashlight on the truth.
Yeah.
And they do not want to play that game. You'll be exposed for who you really are.
Yeah.
Your authenticity will be put on blast, and so it has to be somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
Has to be. It's the patriarchy. It's men who did this. It's that happened to me. My ex did that. It's somebody else did it to me. I'm a victim because it's all their fault. It can't be me. They need to change. They need to do this. That's the modern woman's push right now.
Yeah.
And it removes leadership, and it creates isolation and loneliness. People don't follow that. And that's starting to expose itself pretty loudly. And so this is where it's like, if you can't do that element, it's not leadership.
Yeah.
And so, Lav, I don't know if you were being, sarcastic, which you could have even, without it's texting. So she could have been, women are the problem? Then are we the leaders? Like, it could have been sarcasm. So, I'll give benefit of the doubt, of course. But it's just one of those things where people mistake power as leadership.
Yeah.
But people want power, but not the responsibility that comes with being the leader.
Yeah.
And that's where today's society is really having a hard time with that word, because leadership is not a glorious position. It is a servitude position.
Yeah.
And it takes all the accountability for things going wrong.
And going right.
No, when it goes right, it's everybody, good job.
Right. Right.
Great job, everybody. Good team
yeah,
effort.
but you're the one
good
that's
team effort.
leading that and making sure that everybody knows how appreciative or how appreciated they are. Like that comes from the leader.
Right. You did a great job, baby.
Yeah.
And the girls, way to go. Everybody did a good job. How often is the leader really going to be praised the same way?
No, it rarely happens.
You're seeing.
It rarely happens.
We have to give so much. And also, leadership is also tricky. How many people want to see the leader completely falling apart? How many people want to see the leader emotionally unstable?
Mm-hmm.
How many want to see the leader
not able to make decisions?
Not able to make decisions, not able to handle things, always getting pushed against, never being able to handle their own. How many people want that leader?
Buckle under pressure.
Right? So that means leaders have to be able to take the burden on for everybody, but then have to be able to unload outside of the pack. Oh, that doesn't sound right. I should be able to vent to you. I should unload all my stuff onto my girl and my kids. I should just spill it all on them, right? They are not built for the unload of a leader. They're not built for that. And so you have to unload outside of your pack. That means either with other leaders, other people, other men, whoever it may be. That's where guys go. Now, ladies, if you think venting, bitching, complaining, that's leadership, and you go out to your girls and have a bitch fest about your husband or your kids, not a leader. Not a leader. Leaders don't go and talk shit. Leaders still have to unload, but guys don't go and vent and complain as much as you think. Men rank 3 times lower on negative energy than women do. They've done studies on this. Ladies are gravitated towards gossip and complaining and negativity and venting. When guys get together, it's not the same way. We don't do that. We don't come in. I removed from our program completely the blame throwers lesson because guys don't come in talking crap about their wives. The number one question in relationships, and you can see it in these questions here, something is going wrong and I don't know what to do. How come she's not happy? How come I can't share with her? How come I can't open up? How come I'm not able to? What am I missing? How come I'm not good enough to get her attention? How come I'm struggling to feel confident with our relationship? What's the disconnect? Why am I doing this wrong? Guys shame stack immediately when they come in. They don't blame throw. But ladies, it takes us a few weeks in our women's groups to go stop the complaining and blaming. It's not everyone else. You're here for your own thing. And it takes a few weeks for the ladies to stop tearing down everybody else and start being introspective and tell yourself the truth. Once our women do that, their growth skyrockets. But until the accountability to themselves and they stop lying about themselves to themselves, then their growth skyrockets. Until that moment, it's a snail's pace on a good day. It just doesn't work, and so it's one of those things. All right, spiritual priestess. She says, a lot of men come into my night job and vent, then thank me after. Because they refuse to bring it home to their families, they vent to be in the right mindset. They all have common pattern. They are rarely told they're appreciated by their families. First off, way to be the sounding board. That could be a problem because you said that could be an issue if there's a female who guys go and share all of their things to. I don't know what your job is. She could be like, I'm a therapist. So like that, that would make sense.
That'd be different.
I'm a counselor. I'm a coach. I'm a person that you do work through your things with.
I also think it's different too. What advice or are you giving advice, but also are you just listening without adding judgments? Because I think this is also where women go wrong. If a man is sharing or women is sharing, I will always tell women, I will challenge you. I would do the same thing for men. Men will share for also a certain purpose, especially to a female. So there would be a lot of red flags going off just for me personally.
Well, that's dangerous because you're adding what you believe men's intentions are.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is if some guy was coming and sharing all these challenges with their family life, it would, of course, we'd have to know what your,
I don't know what her
career
job
is. Right. Yeah.
Let's see. So I don't know where she also offers an ear in space. I'm not personally tied to them.
Yeah.
It would feel wrong to give advice.
Okay, that's good.
So
you're not
again,
giving advice.
But just again, one of the main needs for men is they feel unheard. Remember, I told you guys, men aren't saying I need you to agree. They're saying I don't feel heard in order to feel understood. And so they before they even get to appreciate me, or they'll never get empathy, will you at least listen just to understand without adding or getting defensive? Now, you being detached from those guys, there's no ownership and there's no commitment that makes it so you have to do a thing or you're at risk of losing anything. And so just to feel heard is somehow, it's enough for most guys. I just need to feel heard. And you'd be surprised how many men, when they talk to me, it's the first time someone's listened to them in years. They're like, damn, man. They come in guarded, they come in and they're having a conversation like, I just don't know what to share. Or they'll speak protectively over the people that they have to say did a thing. I'm like, we don't have to do that, man. It's just you and me. I just want to hear what your story is. Stop trying to, oh, well, okay, so she's a good girl, and she means well, and she's really sweet, okay? But one time she stabbed me right in the shoulder because I didn't put the Cheetos away. But she's a good girl, and sometimes she accidentally gets stabby, and But I mean, like, she's cool, so don't think bad about her.
Yeah.
It's like, she stabbed you, dude. That's not cool.
Yeah. I think this is why men need men, too, because the connection that men have with men is unlike anything I've seen. And, you know, I think it get a little tricky when men are talking to, if he was constantly going to a woman to share a being at ear, I'd be like, what is going on? Like, that would be a red flag for me. It wouldn't be acceptable. But I also know I will sit there, like, and we'll have the conversation, like, hey, maybe you're not hearing me, you're not listening, whatever it is, we can work through that. Work through that. I understand not every relationship's like that, but I think it would be, if a guy was coming to me, continuing to talk and be open and share, me personally, I wouldn't entertain it at all. I just wouldn't. I think that it's, knowing a married man, and again, this is my values, this is where I stand, I wouldn't want to entertain it. I also wouldn't listen, whether you agree with it or not. That's not my place. I'm not the wife. And I think that a woman outside the marriage, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, so I would push back. That's just me personally.
Well, that's her knowing that's not her thing.
Yeah, it's just not my
thing. I
thing.
listen to people because that's actually what I do.
Great. Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah,
so that's what I do.
What you do. That's what you get paid to do. Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a couple.
Oh my God, Phil.
We
right. Watched that right before we jumped on. Hysterical.
No stab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. There's a couple of things on here. This is Beebs. I don't know how to say this one. But it says, best breakup advice to help the guy want to come back. Oh, this one's easy. Don't break up. Why would you break up to want him to come back? That sounds very, like, push-pull. Like, you know, I'm going to break up with you so you want to be with me. That doesn't really make sense. I don't think I'm trying to put myself in a scenario where I want to break up with you to make you come back.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding the
They're broken. No, yeah, I think you are. I think they're broken up, but it sounds like they want them back. So, like, how do now we broke up? Maybe wasn't the best idea to break up. Now I want you back. So how do you get them back?
Well, I don't know why you guys broke up. There was something that happened that was like, this isn't a match.
Right.
So I don't know what the situation was to give advice because I don't know anything about you guys.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I said, like, I broke up with my ex, how do I get her back? You're like, what did you do? Or what did they do? Like, I don't know what happened. Why did it not work out? Something wasn't a miss. It was a miss.
Yeah.
You know, so without addressing the actual needs, it's hard to say how you guys could connect. Because I don't know what it is. Uncancelable. That's a good name.
Yeah.
I hope it's true.
Yeah. How do we get an attaboy without being whiny? Nothing impresses.
We just talked about this a little bit ago. It's a weird approach. I don't understand what you mean by being whiny, because I'm trying to say, like, it'd be hard to be, baby, notice me. Like, that would be whiny.
Yeah, what's the approach? Yeah.
Did you see what I did today? Like, I think maybe going high pitch would screw it all up. That would maybe be weird, but that's odd behavior anyways.
Yeah.
You know, so as far as this goes, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where we have to be able to have adult conversations.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going unnoticed, you know, it is a frustrating thing. And I understand her personality. She gets very, very busy. She'll put herself into work. She works. She gets very, very focused on her things. And it's very easy for things that are impressive or cool to become unimpressive. Here's another thing, uncancelable. Men out there. Have you noticed that one of our main jobs is to do the unseen? Have you noticed? Have you guys noticed one of our jobs is to do the unseen? I'll give you examples. The toilet's broken. Well, I'll go in there, I'll fix the toilet, I'll take all the pieces out, there's water all over the place, I clean it all up, the toilet's working again, and now everyone's got a working toilet. Guess how many people are thankful that they can piss and shit without it being all over the place? Nobody. Nobody notices, because toilets are supposed to work. Hey, your door doesn't close. Well, let me fix your door. So I work to make it so the door now closes and locks. You're welcome. Your privacy is now returned to you. Well, doors are supposed to close, so I don't notice that. Our washing machine just broke, so I just bought an $800 washing machine.
Are you talking about?
They not from you, just from just people in the house in general.
Well, yeah, I was just going to clarify. Are we talking about kids or like relationships?
Just probably the whole house.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Guys fix the things that are supposed to work. Oh, the car's not working? I'll go fix it. Now the car works. It's supposed to work. Now what girls will do is they'll reorganize something that now looks substantially better. That's noticeable. Oh, they cleaned a thing that now looks way cleaner. The whole area is now nicer. Noticeable. They don't notice that the light switch, when you hit it, all the lights are working because they're supposed to. But wow, the place looks so much cleaner. Great job, babe. Mm-hmm. You organized all the cubbies. That's beautiful. I love that. That's awesome. Good job, babe. Hey, did you notice that tile in the floor that was busted is now fixed? Mm-hmm. Well, it's supposed to be. What would you say now? You guys fix it. Hey, that thing that needed to get painted is now painted, or that thing that is now decoration over there, I built that.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, well, it looks nice, so good. You know, guys do the things that go unnoticed. And this is a very difficult, this is difficult for guys because we want to be appreciated and loved for the things that we contribute to make your life better. We provide a better experience by doing the things that you either can't do or don't want to do. And being able to say, hey, I appreciate my guy for the thing that he can do. There are very talented people who can fix things that are very hard to fix. Mm-hmm. Or do things or get very, very innovative or adaptive with YouTube University to fix some shit you don't want to do. How many things do I put together where she wants nothing to do with it?
I can't do it.
All I want her to do is go, damn, babe, you're awesome. Thank you for putting that together. And then she'll do some stuff where she'll be like, ooh, those muscles are so strong. You know, she'll do stuff like just to inflate me up a little bit. That's my baby.
Yeah.
How often do I tell you you're beautiful?
Yeah.
Or gorgeous or, ooh, sexy or distracting me?
Yeah.
You know, because we build each other up. We build each other up. But I appreciate her and show her so much appreciation and gratitude, and she does to me too. But the things that I do are the stuff that you don't notice. And our daughters don't notice. There'll be something that's just better that didn't work. That light that wasn't working is now working.
Yeah.
That thing you couldn't close now closes. That drawer that was broken is now fixed. And those are, and for some reason it just seems maybe kids or whatever, it's just supposed to.
Yeah.
But this is again the difference between boys and girls and men and women. Men and women can encourage, build, give, love, appreciate, have reciprocity. But if you're still in a boy or girl mentality, you most likely won't be able to give. You'll only be looking to take or get.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. Go like, hey, well done. Good job. But inside all of us is somebody who wants to have their partner proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Uncancelable said, or she'll boast about you to family, a friend, but not to you. And I think that's a part of the acknowledgement. It makes a guy feel good. Like, we've talked about this all the time. I never go to my family and complain about him. Never, not once have I done it. And there's been times where he's driving me crazy. We both drive each other crazy sometimes, but I refuse to do it. But I will let them know all the good things. And I think that's so important in relationships, because if you're so quick to complain about your partner to your family, how many times do you go back and be like, okay, well, we actually, we worked it out. Now he's really great. That usually doesn't happen. So I'm glad that he brought that up and Cancelable, because I think that's such an important piece of a relationship dynamic, is be able to celebrate your partner even when they don't know you're doing it is super important.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's maybe part of her vulnerability or something, to be able to brag about you.
Yeah.
But not say it to you. That would be something to talk about. Speaking of proud of you, there's people in here I'm proud of. I'm proud of Phil. I'm proud of Robbie. I'm proud of Ryan. I see some of my guys jumping in here. So I'm proud of those guys jumping in here. Good to see you guys in here.
Yeah.
So very cool. No, appreciate all of you guys too. Thanks for the interaction. Look at this. Say I want to pet your beard. Come here and get it. Get this thing. It's a big fluffy beard. Let's see, before I say or do anything, I always ask myself, does this honor my wife?
That's good.
It's a solid start.
That's solid.
Hello, Shannon.
And I'm sure it makes your wife feel very safe. Even saying that to your wife, if she doesn't know that you say that, I think that's powerful.
Yeah, I hope that she also does the same exercise. Does this honor my husband?
Absolutely.
It's a very cool exercise to do.
Yeah.
It's a good job.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, well done, guys. Yeah. What's up, Darcy? Yeah, To Be Better got me interested. Yeah, I was hanging out with Chris and Peaches. I did 3 episodes on there with them. Yeah, they're doing pretty. They do good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, so I'm glad you caught me on there. Yeah, we'll be doing. I have a lot more. Also, they were on. Chris was on my show too. He's jumped on my stuff too. We've done stuff together too. So, good people out there. Good people.
Yeah.
And they mean well. They want people to do well. They do the work though. It's hard stuff. So glad you're here, Darcy. Jordan, what's up, Stacks? I see you on the YouTube. Let's see. He said, I can't tell how many times I've done stuff and said the hard things in the way is going to be so happy, and my girl is going to be happy, and all I got was thanks. That's a love languages one. That's the words of affirmation. If I said, I love you so much, and you're like, well, that's nice. Thanks. It messes with you, right? Oh my God, I'm proud of you. That was so good. Yeah, but you don't really know. Oh. I don't? You're not really proud of me. I don't think it's me who's not proud of you. I think it's you who can't accept it. Like, I am very proud of you.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
There's a missile ballad. Yeah.
No. Hey, let's go celebrate you. No.
I refuse.
Sheesh.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, Yoshi, you have a question. Mansplaining versus effective, efficient communication. What's the difference in your opinion? One is a judgment. That's my opinion. To call somebody mansplaining or womansplaining, that's just that's being judgmental.
Yeah.
So the only difference is one is a judgment, is one is it looks like a tool or a strategy. So effective, efficient communication is trying to improve and grow. Mansplaining is judging to shame somebody into submission or silence, or some sort of conformity or some sort of, let's say conformity. Like, censor yourself into doing what I want you to do. Comply. And so mansplaining is meant to judge somebody into submission or shut them up, where efficient and effective communication is designed to improve, grow, and find a better way to connect.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah. So it looks like there's some questions about love languages. Neil, I saw your comments earlier. He said, I'm so in the dark with this whole love language thing. And I know that we just posted up the video that actually got us really started on TikTok. It was pretty popular because not a lot of people, I was surprised not a lot of people knew about the love languages, but it's a book.
Gary Chapman book.
And I want to say there's a test that you can take, and there's 5 different love languages, and the test is in the book, but you can also find it online too. It's free to take. And it'll give you all 5 of your love languages, but it'll rank them in order of what's most important to you and how you like to receive love.
Yeah, or give love. It's not always the same too, but the 5 love languages are gift giving, acts of service, quality time, touch, and words of affirmation. And that's what we talked about earlier, is our guys are generally going to be more into acts of service or quality time. Even gift giving is how they show love, but the way they like to receive love is most commonly appreciation or words of affirmation, verbally or physical touch. Like men love to be wanted. If there's nothing more your guy wants more than you to want your guy. You want him, and it feels good. Guys love the physical element from their growth. So whenever I work with men, it's the most common thing that men want is words of affirmation and touch.
Yeah.
So that's the most common I've seen. But otherwise, that's what it is. It's from Gary Chapman. I don't understand the emojis. What does that mean? Maybe somebody can translate Randall's thing. What does that mean?
Yelling. Maybe like, say it louder. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Yeah. It is pretty interesting. Oh my God. Yeah, to definitely look into it. It's fascinating to read about. If you can get the book, the book is fantastic too. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool books that we use, but that was just one where like I noticed that there was most of the love languages don't require. Say for the ones in the back. That's what that means. That's pretty good. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, Randall. Um, One thing I didn't notice, I noticed with love languages is certain ones don't require instant reciprocity. I don't need to have it reciprocated immediately. So if I buy her a gift, she doesn't have to go, oh shit, I gotta go buy you a gift. Like, I noticed people don't require that. I also noticed that acts of service. If I was like, hey babe, I just took care of that thing that's working, she doesn't have to go like, oh crap, what do I have to do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't need to have an instantaneous, you did a thing, now I have to do a thing. Like I folded towels, well let me go make the bed. Like we don't have to do that, Quality time is an interesting one because people like quality time differently. Some people need quality time to be uninterrupted, just you guys together. But some people can be sitting there next to each other, one person be on their phone, another person reading a book or watching a show, but you're still together and that can still feel like quality time.
Yeah.
So you guys have to go relationship to see which one is your style because, it's very, subjective. It's your personal view on quality time. And agreements on that, not demands. It's an agreement of what quality time is. Now, words of affirmation, we just did the example. If that's not reciprocated, that can hurt. If I said I love you, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're like, I was being vulnerable. I was putting myself on the altar of rejection by saying something. I believe in you so much, and then she goes, who cares? Oh damn. Hey, I'll be there for you no matter what. So? Oh. Like, if you didn't have a reciprocity and verbal, like that, words of affirmation, it can hurt. But we already did that example. She hates it. I was like, baby, grab my hand. And I'm like, ugh.
I hate it.
She hates it. If somebody pulls away, like, get off of me.
That doesn't feel good.
It hurts their feelings immediately because
Yeah.
somebody's wanting to show love by touching. And if someone goes, get away from me, it hurts a lot immediately.
And we hear that one a lot.
People go, I'm not
Withholding
in the mood.
love or withholding like touch just because I don't feel like you touching me. Like, and you're married. Like that's your person that you're in love with, and you don't want them touching your arm. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it hurts immediately when someone tries to give you their love and you tell them I don't want it. It hurts right
It's
away.
such a rejection.
It's a very common thing that happens, and so trying to raise people awareness on that one it's a pretty big deal because people do it justifiably that it's okay for me to hurt my partner when they try to love me, and it can hurt. It can hurt people pretty bad, and it's a really tough rejection when it's somebody you love more than anything who doesn't want to receive it.
Yeah.
You said, do I believe in interracial relationships? I believe in them. They exist. I can't not believe they exist. I believe they are a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe in them. They are there. I don't believe it. I can't believe they're real. I don't believe them. Yes, they're a real thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. May I ask the name of the page? Let's see.
Name of your page.
Let's see, am I in the military? I actually do a lot of work with military. Actually, we're going to be at Hero Fest. We work with
Hero
soldiers. Or Hero Stock, sorry. Thank you. With Jason Steiner. We'll be at Hero Stock. You should check out Hero Stock. It's a big deal. It's a conglomerate for all the military people who have served. I serve the ones who serve, first responders and military guys. We've worked with guys through PTSD, with depression, unaliving thoughts, like we have to say that on this. We've worked through our guys through some pretty tough stuff, and so we've got Marines, we've got Army, we've got police officers, you name it, we've got it. And so I serve those who serve, and I work with my military guys daily. And so, yeah, we have all of that. Have I ever been in the military? I've trained with them, but I haven't gone to war or anything like that. Let's see. How did you get her thinking without triggering your defense mechanism? You have to know your person. Like, we both have different defense mechanisms. She goes into bargaining and negotiating. I go into attack and fight. So she's a fawn, I'm a fight, if you know what those terms are. Both of us start with denial before we go into fawning and then fight. And then once I go into fight mode, she goes into freeze mode. if you understand what your systems are, it makes it so that you guys can catch yourselves before you get triggered. If you don't know your triggers, you can't really make agreements to take timeouts or reset. But understanding yourself well enough to transcend your triggers means you have to learn your partner, learn yourself, and then not get defensive or try to control, because if you're looking at a defense mechanism, it's part of your control system. This means I don't have control, and so I'm going to force control, and I'm going to make you, or shame you or judge you or make you in some way, shape, or form do what I want you to do, and it's a control system if you look at it. For those of you who don't understand it, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, it'd be like if we were driving a car. Fight and flight are both hit the gas. One goes towards, one goes away. Freeze is hit the brake, and fawning is hitting both at the same time. This means I move towards the danger to try to mitigate damage for others by compromising myself, so somebody who's losing their mind is not going to hurt someone else at my expense. So it seems like it's the peacekeeper, but really it's the over compromising themselves or people pleaser to destroy themselves to make it so everybody else is okay. There's a heavy price tag to that. So, yeah, the defense mechanisms, you want to transcend your triggers by not having to control the other person. And so don't try to control the other person. You're not in control. I'm not in control of her, and she's never going to control me. And so we have to understand that we're not trying to control the other person, but if she stops listening or I start getting aggressive, we have to take a time out because we've got triggered, and that we're not going to connect at that point. We're just not going to connect. It's done. The relationship on that one is going to be in jeopardy because we're fighting instead of trying to seek to understand. And it's important. It's okay to not agree.
Yeah.
That's very important. You listen. You don't have to agree. I want to hear where you're coming from. But as soon as she stops answering questions, she's in her negotiator control the conversation. And as soon as I start getting loud, that means I stopped connecting.
Show them that the Marshall Rosenberg.
Oh, nonviolent.
Let me tell you about this book right here.
NVC stuff with Rosenberg.
Nonviolent communication this book is fantastic when it comes to communication. If you haven't checked that one out, that's another one too that's really solid.
Observation, feeling, needs, and requests.
Yes, especially how to communicate with other people. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Check out Rosenberg. That's a great one to be able to go like, okay, I can see you're upset.
Yeah.
Baby, what are you feeling right now? A feeling one is funny because people will try and think their way through feelings.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like you should just do what I tell you to. Like, I love you.
Yeah.
That's not a feeling, though. That's still a demand, Well, I just feel like you're not listening. That's not a feeling, and that's why using some of the tools, like I showed you that feelings wheel, to go through, like, find what a feeling is. Like, you're feeling happy, or I'm feeling embarrassed, or I'm feeling, enraged, or I feel excited, or I feel contempt, or I feel scared. Like, those are feelings. I haven't read Garrett White's book. I'm aware of Garrett White. I'll be honest with you, I don't connect to Garrett White very well. I just haven't hung out with him. I haven't talked to him yet. But I think just the way that he does it, I have a hard time connecting with his style. But I don't plug into Garrett White as much. So I'm not saying I like it or hate it. I just haven't connected to his style at all on it. And so there's a disconnect with the way that we do things. But if he's helping guys and actually doing a great job, I'm all for any man who's helping other men. So I'm not saying I'm pro or against. I just haven't plugged into Garrett White as much. Let's see. Mine wants to be right all the time. Well, I would probably listen to be right about what, and then just go like, I hear you. I bet you, Shannon, if I listened to your conversation, I would bet you this. I'll tell you what, I'll put a challenge on the table. I'll send you $100 if I'm wrong. I bet you if I listen to both of you talking to each other, he just wants to be heard and understood and not be right. I bet you add that because you won't listen. I'll give you $100 if I'm wrong. If you two want to book a call, and I'll work with both of you on the conversation, listening to both sides. If I'm incorrect, that he just wants to be heard and understood and doesn't need to be right, I'll send you $100. If you take me up on that challenge and you two do it, I'll happy to be wrong. But whenever I say he just wants to be right all the time, I bet you that's not true. So book a call, get paid. Book the call for free. If you're right, I'll send you $100. It depends. BPD, if you're talking about bipolar personality disorder, I don't work with that as much as, that's what I work with, not bipolar.
Shannon said, okay, that's what he's told me. Dang it, Shannon. Dang it.
Yeah, that's funny. Come on, you could have got that money. What's the other one? Not bipolar disorder.
Personality disorder.
It's a personality one. I forgot the name of it. Though.
Borderline personality.
Borderline, yeah. I don't work with borderline as much, but bipolar is oftentimes misdiagnosed. It usually comes down to not being able to grieve in a healthy way. But borderline personality, I haven't worked with that as much because it usually requires somebody who works in those areas. And so that's not usually my field. I don't usually go in that direction. So I don't have as much experience working with borderline personality disorder. But bipolar disorder I've worked with more, but not borderline, so apologize. You're good. We got what you meant. No worries, Scott. Yeah. So sorry I can't be as helpful on that one, but let's see.
Jin's has comment about divorce in North America thrives in divorce and individualism. The more the divorce rate, the more the revenue. You're right about that.
Yeah, it's a sad story, Jen. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's a sad story to watch how the attack on love is so easy that we'll just destroy it ourselves because we need to be an individual. It's just feeding selfishness to destroy love.
Yeah.
It's naturally dark, but now it's turning naturally white, man.
Yeah, it's natural.
we actually, just a funny thing for you, Joe. Our daughters, one of them had, she's got a brunette, dark hair, and she wanted to try a different color, so she got, a fake, just wash-out color thing. And we sprayed it on my beard to cover up all the white, but my beard is so thick that it looked like I had one of those fake beards that you put on.
Yeah.
It looked like a cartoon beard. It was a mess, and everyone agreed, never dye it. Let it go white. And so it's gonna be white soon, but it's naturally dark. So I'm never gonna do that.
Naturally was dark.
It naturally was dark. This is all within the last 3 years it started going white. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You learned that lesson too. As soon as you tried to color it, it just looked cartoonish. It looked fake.
Yeah.
I was like, can't do it. So I'm gonna go Silver Fox before I go into, Just for Men.
Yeah. Took me a second. Yeah. Oh my god.
Let's see. Shannon, here's a cool trick. I'm gonna give you one thing. Let's get out of here in a second, baby. I want some quality time with you. Here's a challenge for you guys. I got this from Jordan Peterson, but it works. We've used this. When we effectively do this tool, it works. If you don't effectively do this tool, it doesn't work. So it's not the tool, it's the practice. So practice to get better. Don't expect to be perfect at this. Get a notebook and write down what your man says word for word if you can. Don't interrupt him except for one thing. Can you slow down so I make sure I get it right? And write it down word for word. Then, when he's like, I'm good, that's what I had to say. Read it back, and if you read it back and go, so you said this, this, and this, is that what you mean? If he says, no, that's not what I mean, write down what he means until you have it correct what they said. If you can go, is this what you mean? And they say, yes, you got it, that's exactly what I mean. Then you do your turn. And then he writes for you and listens to you and writes down your stuff. You don't interrupt even if you don't agree. You let them go, but you don't go until you say, yes, I understand. Now, a majority of the time, if you actually understand your guy, you don't need to say your part most of the time. Not because you have something that's not worth sharing. You'll just realize if you understand where he's really coming from, what you made up for him probably isn't true. And so, once you know the real thing, next is probably just you wanting to let go of your stack and unload a whole bunch of stuff. This is where it gets complicated, ladies, and where could you probably work on it a little? This is the part. As he's writing down your stuff, guys, When you do your part, you're probably going to be writing down 5 or 6 different topics that are all connected to one feeling, like frustration or aggravation or something. So she'll go, I don't like that you said this, but I also don't like when the dog did this thing, and your mother said this thing over here. And remember that one time the tire blew out and you didn't change it fast enough, and then this thing over here. And you're like, hold on, these are different topics. And so you'll go back through her thing. This is where it's tricky. We learn this together. When I read back the thing that she said, to say, is that what you meant? It's a majority of the time, no. What I did mean was, this is where you have to cross out. Don't hold her over the fire. Cross out the first thing, and then write the next thing, and odds are it'll be another stack. This is why it's hard to do this thing, is ladies will have to pick their most important thing, and then you guys have to be okay with that. But listen to your guy first to understand him by writing it down. Don't add to it, don't change it, don't do anything. Odds are you'll understand exactly what he means. Our men, a high majority of the time, word for word, mean what they said. Just write it down. We've done this where, like, write it down. This is word. I'll write it down for her and go, that's word for word what I mean. And she'll read it and go, well,
It makes sense.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
you can't add anything to it.
But if I
It
just
has
say
the
it
word
out
for
loud,
word,
she'll
yeah.
add to it, and then it'll be something that I don't mean, I don't say, but she still wants
Yeah.
me to be held, like, to accountability to something that's not mine.
Yeah, it also slows things down. It slows the energy down. It slows down the conversation, so you're able to listen more. Because it's going to take time to write it, so
Yeah.
it's helpful.
So I bet you, like, I could guarantee you, and ladies, a lot of times ladies gaslight their introspection. You're not truly listening to understand your guy, you're just waiting to talk. If you listen to him word for word and truly understand him before you go, a lot of the things you wanted to vent about or share, well, you got your real answer, so I don't have to wonder or make up something for you.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. There's a lot of ladies who are like, that can't be true, and then they do it, and then they're like, well, that actually really cleared things up for me. That made it a lot easier. I guess he wasn't being crazy like I made up. That was me being crazy for him, and then trying to make him accountable to my crazy.
Yeah. It's confusing.
It's a tough one. Is there class for listening to your guy? I get the floor to speak, but never get to finish. We've done the class for listening to the guy, but ironically they didn't listen because I was teaching it.
Ba-dum-boom. It is hard. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice to do it because listening is such a, it's a skill that we all learn, like in kindergarten or even before. Like listen, but majority of people don't listen to each other or listen to understand. Definitely, that's a whole nother level. But
the highest level is listen to be empathetic. Like actually care about their feelings and not just your own.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing too. If you ladies ever go, oh, you think that bothers you? This is what bothers me. As soon as you do that, you completely dismissed your partner. You're not a good listener. Well, I said a lot. I'm a great communicator. A lot of times saying a lot of things, like making a lot of noise doesn't mean you're making sense. Just because I made a lot of sound doesn't mean that I was making sense. And this is where people go off the rails, is because they say a lot of things but think that it means more than it does. And a lot of times it really doesn't. And so if you really want to, like, here's another, if you can't do the listening thing, write a letter, physically write a letter. And then give it to your partner. That'll make it so you're going to not do all of the verbal dumping that you normally would do. Because girls love to talk. They talk, especially with each other. Talk. Write out exactly what you feel or what you're working through, and you're going to realize, like, man, my wrist is hurting with how much I was going to say. So you'll be more direct about what it is that's really important to you. Write it down. You'll be surprised because he'll give you 2 paragraphs, and you'll give him 2 notebooks.
Yeah, especially for people that are like true processors, like have to process the information, and they're not like verbal right away, and they have to process it. Sometimes they need that.
You'll be
to, like,
surprised. Yeah.
clear things up. Yeah.
You'll be surprised how much writing makes it better.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You guys ready? Dr. Craven Moorhead. What's up, Doc? Good to see you. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Dr. Craven Moorhead.
I don't know who that is.
You will later. All right. See you guys later. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys. We won't be going live on Wednesday.
Catch you next week.
So we'll catch you guys next week. All right, Warriors. For any of you who want to book a call, you can book a call in our bio. You can do it for free. And for some of you, it'd be very cool to meet you guys anyway. So book a call. You may get my integrator, and then she'll send you over to me. So book a call, and then let's see if we can do some more growing and helping our Warriors to get stronger and better for each other. So be safe. Love each other, and go crush it this week. Yeah. Later, Warriors.
Good night.
Good job, baby.
Good job.
All right, later, YouTubers. We'll see you guys in the Discord.
Yeah. Good night.
See ya.